Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at this magic magnetic tiles. Now me personally, I love playing around with magnetic tiles simply because you can create so many different shapes, as you guys will see in just a second. So first things first, let's open it up and see what we have inside. It looks like this is our stickers, and here is our magnetic blocks. They actually stick quite easily to each other. So this looks like we can build a car. We can put one inside of the other, and in a second we're definitely gonna take a look at that. And here's the rest of our magnetic blocks. So like always, let me take everything out of the foil, out of the box, and then we're going to take a look at this set. Okay, so here's our magnetic pieces, all of them together. And you guys can see the magnets working. So before we actually start building any shapes or doing anything with these magnetic tiles, let's first build up the insides of these shapes right here. And so we have to put our stickers on them and then put them inside of these. Okay, so we got some animals. We got a goat, a horse, a mouse, and a moose. That's always a favorite one. Pumpkin, eggplant, so we got some vegetables. And then we also have some lemon, banana. So we want to do this carefully and nicely so that our shapes come out nice. And there it is. So here's our finished product. So I took these 8 pieces, which were solid, and I placed the stickers on both sides. And then here we have 4 other shapes that we don't need stickers on. We are going to place all these different pieces inside of them. So you guys see, this is the final product, and you can actually even spin it if you place it this way. But if you place it the other way, you spin it a little bit differently. So we can also sort of play around with how we place these inside, and that will actually determine the spin. So let's put all of them inside of this. Okay, here it is. We got everything inside. And again, if we, let's say, decide that we would like to use this one, which is a window, we can just pop this out, place a window here, and we have a different inside. Simple enough, where we can use these 4 other shapes depending on what we're going to be building. So first, let's build ourselves a car. So let's use this front piece for our car and the back one for our trailer or camper. So maybe let's start with the trailer, because this will be a little bit easier to build. And maybe let's replace this broccoli with a window. I don't think any of you will be upset about that. So let's use the yellow ones. Oh. And this let's use for the front. And also let's replace one of them with a window. There we go. And we have this piece right here, which is really this cool roof where we can place it on top. And there we go. We have our trailer. Now, let's build the car, which is a little bit more tricky, but I think we can do it. So let's see, maybe let's build like a truck. So let's put the back first, something like this, and maybe a gate that we can open and close. And now the front. So let's see. Oh, these would be perfect pieces for the job. On sides. Now let's build the roof. Maybe let's use this one for the front. Another one for the hood. And finally, the windows. There we go. We have built our car and our camper or trailer. But I always like to use all the different pieces that I have. So we have few pieces left over. I guess we could build like a small little house. Something like this. And then let's put in a roof. Of course, we got pizza left. So let's use that. A small little roof like this. And then all these pieces we can use as maybe our cargo that we are transporting on our truck. So something like this. And this last piece could be our ramp. But now we are using all the pieces that we have in the set. Oh, this is actually pretty fun. And here we could have the truck come around and unload the cargo. Let's open it, put in our ramp into the house, and unload. Unload our cargo. And we have it. So when we have one or two sets, our pieces are limited, so it's a little bit harder to build things, but this is really where our imagination kicks in. And we can still have a lot of fun and build various things. So I want to show you maybe one or two other things that we can do with these few pieces, and then I'm going to show you something else. So here's just a close-up of our car. With this type of a front, it does look like a Jeep. And our trailer or our wagon with the windows. I love this roof, this piece. It does have this nice detail to it. And the small little building. Aside from our car, there's tons of other things we can do using these pieces right here. For example, we can build shapes. So, two pieces on one side, one piece on the other side, and just connect everything together. And we're going to have a very basic, simple rectangle. We can separate it into two and then put pieces on both sides. So again, these are very simple shapes, a square, a rectangle, but you can really experiment and play around with this and come up with more complex shapes. So let me show you what else I came up with while looking at these pieces in front of me. So we can actually build a very simple house. Now again, we have limited pieces, so we cannot build something tremendously complicated. But nevertheless, we can still build something that we could have fun with. So let's build something like this, like a rectangle. And now we can close this off using our roof. There we go. And we have like a station. In fact, it could be really a train station. So we can also build a very simple train since we do have some pieces left over. So let's do that. And And now we're using all the pieces that we have in our playset. There it is. A simple train. We can even attach this wagon to it. And this could be our station, and a train will be pulling in from the back. Now again, I know it has wheels, so it's not a train, but again, this is the whole point of our imagination. We can think of this as a train, or even a bus, or whatever you would like or prefer. So it could go in the back, and if you have sort of Legos or figurines or something, you could pretend this is a door in which you enter, and then in the back, you leave to the train station or the bus station. However, like I mentioned in some of my other videos, I actually like to mix my toys together. So I can actually replace the front over here with this piece that I have. It's a rotating door, as you see. If I twist this dial, the door opens and closes. So this is something that I could use here in the front. And now I do really have like a station. There it is. And I could use my small little Legos or figurines or other things that I have to pretend that they are entering. And then they're leaving in the back to get to the bus or the train. So this is just one simple structure idea that I came up with looking at this. And I have one more for you. So let me take this apart and show you one other thing. So we can build all sorts of homes from these pieces. So let me show you one other type of a home that I came up with while playing around with these pieces. So let's use these yellow ones on the bottom. Then the blue ones on top. Like now the red pieces with the blue ones here. Oh. And attach them at the bottom. If we attach these together, this actually looks like a ladder. You could put the front to make it look a little bit more stable. And this actually does look like a fence on the sides. So, oh wow, the ladder wants to stick to the red ones. And there it is. Another very simple idea, a very simple house. A little bit of a fence on the sides, a ladder going to the top, a top floor, and another home. There it is. So if you do have different figurines or again maybe Legos or something like that, we can play with them using this structure right here. So as you see, we can have tons of fun even with these limited few pieces just from one set. But like I mentioned at the beginning of my video, there's something else I want to show you. As maybe you can tell by now, this is not my first set of magnetic tiles. So I have few other pieces as well. For example, this big car. These are much smaller compared to this one. But this is not all. I have pieces like this. And this. I have pieces like this. These long triangles. And I also have triangles that look like this. But there's something else. Yep. Lots more pieces. So these are triangles and these are squares. And then place these like this and just connect everything together so that it's going to come out to a nice looking cube. And we can support it on both sides so that it doesn't fall. It can stand on the side like this. A lot more elaborate. So let me show you a few other things that I like to build using my magnetic tiles. Let's start with a star. In order to do that, we're going to take our triangles, arrange them into this shape right here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What shape has 6 sides, 6 points? That's right, a hexagon. So we are arranging it into a hexagon. And now we're going to use the squares to do the sides. Like so. And triangles one more time on top. And here we have it. We have this hexagon. However, to create a star, we need a lot more triangles. And now we're going to place these triangles on the sides, on the squares. So on the bottom, on the side, on the other side, and then closing it up. And we will do this with all the sides that we have. Again, it takes a little bit of practice to create shapes with the magnetic tiles. Sometimes it's not easy because they could fall apart quite easily sometimes. So never be discouraged. Always try. And there we have it. Our star. We can also create a huge triangle. So let's start with a triangle like this. However, with a square, we're going to support it. And put one more square. So we have something like this on the side. And we can do the same thing from the other side. Create our triangle, place it here. And this is our starting point. But this is just the beginning. We're going to build a much, much bigger triangle. So all you have to do is just keep building it out with the smaller triangles. And go higher and higher. The limit is really how many squares and triangles you have available. So for us, let me just stop maybe here and close it off with a square. And start building it up. It's already a pretty big triangle. There it is. Now that is a big, big triangle. And we have these squares on the side. So that's another shape we can build. But me personally, what I really love to build is big, big houses. So let me show you just one type of a house I like to build. So we're going to take squares and put 3 on each side. So we're going to create a square. Like so. And now we're going to build up. Let's build a second one. Again, I love to build these very high. And quite honestly, I would have made it just a little bit bigger. However, it would be very difficult to fit this on camera and show it to you as I'm building it along. Even right now, it's actually quite difficult to do this, to fit everything into the camera zoom. Okay, so we got 3 floors. And at this point, let's start doing the roof. So what I do is I put triangles on every single square. Now that I have triangles on every single square, I'm gonna put the triangles in between. And you have to be a little bit careful with this because there is no support in the middle. So many times what happens is that it falls down. So we have to be a little bit gentle in how we connect everything together. But we connect all the sides. We still have a big gap in the middle. So I will build up one more layer of the roof and hopefully it's not gonna fall down. So now what you can do is finish this off and create a point, or you can play your cards a little bit more dangerously and put a square and build up squares again. But with this, you got to be very careful because everything now has no support in the middle. So it's actually very easy for this to fall down. And now we could build our point so that our house is a little bit taller and bigger. So I want to show you one last final design, and that is a castle. So having more magnetic tiles, you can build more designs, bigger castles. So I want to just show you one type of a castle that sometimes I like to build, using and incorporating the new tiles that I showed you in the beginning of the video. Let's start by connecting 3 squares together. Oh. And now we're gonna add 2 more on this side. So we have 3 in total. And then we're going to have 4 on the other side. So 3 from this side, 4 on this side, and we're going to turn and connect everything from this side. So we're gonna use 4, and then we're gonna turn again back. And we're going to do the same thing like we did on this side. So really what we are doing is creating a letter C. And the inside is hollow. There's nothing inside. However, I am going to put 2 pieces here, I'm sorry, connecting it together because it's going to make it a lot more sturdy. Otherwise, it's going to be shaking too much and it actually might fall down. So I did place 1 piece here and here so that everything is connected nicely and it's not going to fall. So once I am done with the squares, let me place the triangles on top. So I'm not placing a triangle on this first one, and in a second you will see why. So we're starting with the second square, and I'm placing the triangles here. And all these squares on the side. And now I will connect them. Okay, so we got the sides. Now we're gonna go and here create 1 more floor. After all, this is a castle, So the higher, the better. And here I'm going to put in my towers. And at this point, what happened is I ran out of squares. However, I have triangles. If we put two triangles together, we have a square. So we can use that. So these are going to be our towers. So I'm going to make them a little bit higher than everything else. Okay. Okay. So this is the top now. And we're going to finish it off with these long triangles. These will be our towers. So now using these new ones that we unboxed in the beginning of the video, remember the two windows? I'm gonna place it right over here. And two on the other side. And use our roof that we usually use for cars or trains. I'm gonna place it here. And then these pieces, I'm going to create small little towers on both sides. So I'm just creating a square. So one square and a second square. And we can use these to make it sturdy. And these pieces. Place everything right here on the sides as smaller towers. There it is. Both sides. And these pieces we can use as a gate. Like so. And here is our castle. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was entertaining. And again, if you like these videos, please subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.